What's up everyone? So the market is starting to turn green and that is fantastic news. And I actually ran across this stock which I can't believe that I didn't invest in this stock earlier, and it is one of the best stocks that I've actually seen in a while. I think this stock actually is a potential multi-bagger, and today I want to share my due diligence on this stock with you guys and give you some key points about this stock. The company is called Trade Desk, ticker symbol TTD. I'm gonna go over what the Trade Desk is, what the company actually does, what are its financial statements, because I love numbers and I actually look into business models and numbers to make sure that I can actually invest in this company. The third thing I wanna focus on is what are its growth projections and what price targets do I consider myself getting into this position, and some risks associated with this company for future as well. If you're just trying to skip through the parts that you wanna watch, I'll put the timestamps below in the description so you can actually just watch those parts. With that being said, my name is Cash. This channel is all about investing with Dr. Cash. If you like this video, please do me a favor and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. The first thing I want to talk about is what exactly is Trade Desk. Trade Desk is involved in advertisement space. Advertisement space is a very volatile market and Trade Desk is actually dominating this market. What exactly does Trade Desk do? So the Trade Desk platform enables buyers to purchase digital ad space and target ads across displays, socials, and other medias. They are involved in ad space that is targeting programmatic advertisement. Now, what exactly is programmatic ad? Programmatic ad is typically just using a software to purchase digital advertisements, as opposed to using the traditional process which involves human negotiations, manual insertion orders. It's just pretty much using a machine to buy ad, and Trade Desk is actually involved in this space. The way they actually work is Trade Desk itself is kind of like the middleman, and they have contracted and they have all these different clients, which are really big clients, by the way. They have all the user data from those different clients. So what Trade Desk does is that it actually utilizes its own platform with all this user data that they have, and they're really good at actually figuring out as to what exactly works and what doesn't work, because they have such huge clientele and so many user data points that they actually help the buyers figure out as to what platform is right for their advertisements and how cost effective is it for them. And it makes it easy for the buyers end, and it makes it easy for the sellers end, because they're not really trying to compete with the buyers or the sellers. What they're trying to do is trying to benefit both parties here, which is an amazing job that the Trade Desk does. So let's look at actually what's the growth going to look like in the digital arena, because that's where Trade Desk is involved in. So you actually want to take a look at what the growth potentials are in that space. So from 2015, if you look at all the way to 2021, you can see that there's a very steady growth from 168 to 198 to 227. Again, these are all in billions of dollars. So look at how many dollars are actually being spent in the digital ad space. I wanted to actually show you this picture. This gives a huge idea of what kind of space Trade Desk is involved in and what is the market. So you can see that Trade Desk is targeting a 725 billion market. That is the total global ad spendings. That is an insanely big market. So just think about how much growth potential does Trade Desk have in a market like this. Now, another thing I want to highlight is pretty much their cost. And one of the things that is really important here, and as we can zoom in, is the click-through rate. Their click-through rate for Trade Desk is actually 6 times higher than market average. Their cost per click is actually 60% lower than market average. So just think about how much value the company is providing to their clients. Without actually providing a good value, they're not really going to have a good client base. For example, if you're not finding any value in this YouTube video, you're not gonna watch it, right? Now that is all good and that is all great, like having great business model, having great, market, having amazing click-through rates is all fantastic and all, but how does the company actually do in numbers? Like, what are their financials? Because that is important for you to decide whether this is a growing business or this is a falling business. So with that said, let's take a deep dive into their financials. So the first thing I kind of want to just show you guys is how the Trade Desk numbers are looking just in terms of trends. The revenue growth is fantastic. I mean, that is an incredible revenue growth. 45 million in the 2014 to 114 million in 2015, 203 in 2016. So they're going at a really good, they're increasing at a really good rate. Consistently, it's a little less in terms of percentages, but that is still a very fast growth. Let's take a look at the gross spends. So the gross spend is actually $4.2 billion on their platform in 2020, and their revenue was $836 million. So for every dollar that is spent on their platform, they are pretty much making like a fifth of it. That's pretty good. Like they're making like 20%. And of course, their services have to be good in order for them to keep paying this kind of money. Now let's take a look at the net operating income. It's definitely grown. Their expenses are also growing. Don't get me wrong. Look at that. Like their expenses are growing. I'm not gonna hide that. It went from 172 million in 2017 to about in 2020, it went to 513 million. Don't take that away from the company. You do want to keep a good eye on what their expenses are looking like. However, their revenue is way higher than their expenses. Their revenue is looking good. Their net operating income is improving. Of course, their expenses are going up, but they're a lot less than revenue, and their profit margins are fantastic. The way their growth is happening is incredible. I mean, I'm no expert on this, but I try to evaluate my companies this way. It's like, what kind of space are they involved in? Are they doing good in that space? What kind of market share do they have in that space? Are they going to dominate the market, or are they just going to be okay with just a share of that market? If you're liking this video so far and you're enjoying the content, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's continue the video onwards. So now I want to talk about some growth projections of the company. So far they've done really fantastic. The stock has actually ran up like insane this last year, has ran up like 2100%, which is absolutely nuts. And I will talk about it a bit more as their prices. But how can they make their advertisements more specific to their consumers so that they're not violating any privacy laws or anything, but at the same time helping the sellers get that right ad to the right consumer? They are coming out with the Unified ID 2.0 campaign, which is essentially an industry-wide initiative that is independent of cookies that aims to preserve the ability to run targeted and personalized ads and improve privacy and controls for consumers, making it transparent for the consumers, but at the same time as the advertisers. Of course, as a consumer, you don't want to trust yourself with just anybody and hand over your data, but I think what Trade Desk is trying to do is actually a good thing. Now, I had talked about some risks that are associated with this company, so let's kind of dig deep into that a bit as well. One of the risks associated with this company is what they're trying right now. So Unified ID 2.0 is actually a strong point, as well as it's a risk associated with the company. It is uncertainty as to whether it's going to be successful or whether it's not going to be successful. So that's something to keep in mind. Second thing to keep in mind is that it's a growth stock. Look at their PE. I mean, it's 93.42, so it is high. TTD just recently had like a 50% drop, and the whole market actually had like a huge drop. So I'm not gonna isolate and say TTD alone had a drop, but they did have a drop of like almost 50%, and that was even with profitable, solid revenues. And they also beat their earnings per share, and still the stock dropped. So just know that the market is actually very hard on TTD. They have huge expectations from TTD, so that can actually hurt the stock because its volatility can definitely be affected by that. One way that can be controlled is TTD is coming out with a 10-to-1 stock split, which I think is a good news because, as I mentioned, the stock did run up like 2100% this past year. And what the company is trying to do is that they're trying to make their shares more available. So when you're actually doing that, you're reducing the float. So there might not be a lot of volatility in TTD. 500 is where I actually averaged my initial position, and I was dollar cost averaging. So I did like initially 513 and a little bit over like at 500. Since then, the stock has actually been running up. So I would say around that price is where I would consider opening up position, and I would continuously dollar cost average for like successive dips that happen in the future as well for this stock. I think it's a great company. I think they have a lot of potential. I think their financials are really good. They do have some risks that you do want want to continuously monitor, I'm not going to shy away from mentioning those. And as an investor, you should be aware of your risks. Again, this is not a financial advice. Please consult your financial advisor before you actually make any investment decisions. My name is Cash. This channel is all about investing with Dr. Cash. If you like my videos, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for the next video.